Well, people are talking about this. The second major winter storm in a week is headed for the East Coast. It is a weather phenomenon experts are calling January.
That's exactly right. Except the news media is calling it a deadly bomb cyclone. It's a deadly bomb cyclone. Don't call in a deadly bomb cyclone threat to a school, though, because you might get arrested. Like Don Lemon. The deadly bomb cyclone is coming. Or as we used to call it, winter. That's exactly right. Remember winter before it was snowpocalypse and snowmageddon and a deadly bomb cyclone? Deadly. It's good. It might snow. Then again, it might not. It's a deadly bomb cyclone, they say. These people. Yeah, sir. By the way, the Democrats want to shut the government down. They're going to try to hold up funding for the government because ICE must be defunded. Defund the police. No, the police. Disband the police. They want to disband Immigration Customs Enforcement so that ICE doesn't exist anymore, and then a different government agency would have to do the same thing because stupid people are in charge and very, very dishonest people indeed. So they want to shut down the government. The Democrats do, and their plan is already in place to blame the Republicans. They've coordinated that with their news media allies at NBC and ABC and CNN. And, oh, yeah, the Democrats will shut the government down because they want to defund ICE because they're the Open Borders Party, and they want Trende Aragua to run, apartment complexes from Colorado to Maine. And they want Somalis to steal billions of dollars and provide the money to a radical Islamic terrorist jihadi group called Al-Shabaab, which I know sounds like a chicken dish on a stick, but it's not. It's another murderous, bloodthirsty gang of Islamist ghouls. Speaking of bloodthirsty ghouls, the Department of Homeland Security put out a list yesterday, and they said, hey, here are the people we arrested in Minnesota yesterday, so that would be day before yesterday, because they put this out on the 29th. Today is the 30th of January. Pay no attention, but they put out a list. Some of the criminals arrested during Operation Metro Surge yesterday. All right, so that would be January 28th, the day before yesterday. That would be Wednesday. And just Wednesday, and just in Minnesota, where the Democrats are literally giving up their own lives to defend the freedom of these illegal aliens. And these are the people that the Democrats are dying for, quite literally. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. Now, Assistant Secretary, Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin, spokeswoman there, who's wonderful and articulate and happens to be beautiful as well. The Department of Homeland Security highlights more criminal illegal aliens arrested in Minnesota yesterday, that'd be Wednesday, during Operation Metro Surge, including those convicted of second-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor, domestic abuse, these are the people the Democrats are dying to defend, literally, second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, and Tricia McLaughlin said, we are in Minnesota to get criminal illegal aliens off the streets. Just yesterday, DHS law enforcement arrested pedophiles, domestic abusers, and armed assailants. We are calling on Minnesota sanctuary politicians to work with us. Let us into their jails so that they won't hey, the criminals are there. We could arrest them and things like that. And offers safety, arrest these criminals before they're released onto the streets, which Democrats like to do, so they will commit more crimes against children and the elderly, because more Democrats, more crime. More Democrats, more murder. More Democrats, more sexual assault on children, which they like. They're, California people. If we work together, Tricia McLaughlin said, we can make America safe again. The Democrats do not want America to be more safe. They want America to be more dangerous. This is the fundamental transformation of America into a third world beep hole country. Now, DHS put out a list yesterday with photographs, with mugshots, if you will, of a number of criminals that they arrested just on Wednesday, including Roberto de Leon Garcia, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, from Mexico, where my best girl and I go on vacation, but he's a refugee from a place where Americans go on vacation by the millions, and Democrats don't see anything wrong with that. Roberto de Leon Garcia, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, arrested for second-degree criminal sexual conduct and sexual conduct with a child under the age of 14. That would be 13 or 12 or 11. And Roberto de Leon Garcia is a hero of the Democrat Party. They're out there fighting in the streets to make sure he's loose. And listen to this. So the criminal sexual conduct with a child under the age of 14 and convicted of conspiracy to transport aliens within the U.S. So he's a human trafficker of illegal aliens and a child rapist. And the Democrats, and he was arrested on Wednesday in Minnesota, and the Democrats are fighting for his freedom to continue to commit crimes against Americans as an illegal alien. Second, Thao Pao Jiang, and criminal illegal alien from Laos, a lot of those, it turns out, in Minnesota, convicted of fleeing a peace officer in a motor vehicle, theft, auto theft, possession of drugs, terroristic threats, possession of burglary tools, burglary, domestic abuse, identity theft, possession of a short-barreled shotgun, intentionally pointing firearm at a person, first-degree reckless endangering safety. All right, and this is one of the guys that the Democrat Party, they're out in the street fighting for his release. Philip Adjoko, a criminal illegal alien from Ghana, convicted of second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon. And the Democrats, well, that's not very much. We should let him go and wait till he murders several people, and then maybe we'll do something. Isn't that amazing? Ghana, I stopped in Ghana once for a short period of time. Luis Amagon Dominguez, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, again, convicted of second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, criminal re-entry into the United States of an aggravated felon illegal alien into the United States after removal. So one of the crimes he committed was he was convicted of crimes here, and he was deported. And they said, and if you come back in, that's an additional crime. And so he came back in because the Democrats invited him in, and they had a gift basket for him, including guns and ammo, so the illegal alien from Mexico could kill more people, right? And then Javier Alexander Ramirez Lumaquina. And Lumaquinga, he's a criminal illegal alien from Ecuador, another country where my best girl and I have been on vacation. Convicted of 2 DUIs, driving while intoxicated, a drunk Ecuadorian, and another DUI still pending with the Dakota County District Court in Hastings, Minnesota. And so he's a drunk Indian up the yin-yang, convicted of 2 DWIs, which are DUIs here, and another one pending. So he's a drunk Indian, and he drives around drunk, and he hasn't killed. There was a drunk Indian, a drunk illegal alien in Virginia a few years ago, got drunk again and crashed his car and killed a nun driving her car peacefully. And the Democrats don't care. You know, that nun didn't become a household name like George Floyd. And this is Department of Homeland Security just listing with mugshots some of the crimes that the people they arrested have been convicted of and are wanted for. And the Democrat Party, they don't care about human life because they are the left, you know? That's who they are. All right, now, let's I wanted to share that with you because these are the people the Democrat Party, the Democrat and everybody, their violent mobs in the streets are defending, right? And their heroes like Alex Preddy and Renee Good are defending these child rapists and wife beaters and drunk drivers and everything else. And they're out there giving their lives to defend these criminals. All right? By the way, the Justice Department holding a briefing on Don Lemon being arrested, and I will share some of that with you coming up. In the meantime, let's go back to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Al. Calling from Oak Lawn, Illinois, outside of Chicago, listening on the great WLS. Al, you are on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, good morning, Chris. Chris, the schools in Oak Lawn, Illinois, which is on the edge of Chicago, School District 123, they are closed due to a threat that has been issued against one school, which is the Colmar School. there's quite a number of schools in Oak Lawn, but they've shut it down. They've even shut down online learning. I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
Yeah, learning.
But I want to address the thing that, to me, is very important. You know, you and I are of an age. We're boys of the 50s.
Uh-huh.
We were alive at a time when many people who fought the war could tell us stories about what happened. But late in my life, my cousin, Bob Slaw, who attended prisoners at a prisoner of war camp, a concentration camp, after the war, spoke to them because he spoke Yiddish, went into the camp, and told my brother and I that he could not forget for the rest of his life, and I'm talking 55, 60 years, the sights and the smell of what he observed. When I hear people talk about Nazism, they haven't got a clue. They have no idea the brutality, the slaughter of human beings. I was engaged to a girl whose father was a Yugoslavian prisoner of war. He weighed 98 pounds, this 6'1" man, when he walked out of a prisoner of war camp after the war. These people are morons. That's a compliment for God. It's a compliment. It's an insult to morons to say that. It angers me bar none. And my cousin was Jewish, and he went into this camp and saw this. He couldn't describe it. He teared up because he couldn't stand the thought and memory of it all of his lifetime.
Right, and that's perfectly normal, of course. And you're right. We grew up with, our neighbors. My father was a World War II vet, a Navy fighter pilot. We were surrounded in our neighborhood by World War II veterans, my uncles and everybody. And I got to tell you, like these documentaries we see on jazz and baseball and stuff, they're all fine and good. But the first documentary series that made an impression on me was The World at War, a British production, and I still have it on DVD, the whole box set. As soon as it was available, I went and bought The World at War, and it's the most horrifying account of World War II, both in Europe and in Asia, and certainly the accounts in the World at War of the liberation of the death camps by the American troops liberating people that survived from the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler. And Al, I've got to say, I've always known the Nazi Party as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, and for short, it's the Nazis. But ask any college graduate today for the long form title of the Nazi Party, and I'll bet 99.8 out of 100 would not even come close.
Chris, I grew up in Marquette Park. 3 blocks from where I lived was the Nazi Party headquarters in Chicago. 3 blocks. We used to watch these nut jobs walk in with their uniforms. I knew a friend of mine's father was a captain under Rommel, and he fled Germany. I knew a Jewish woman who was a diva of the Berlin Opera who was standing at a train depot about to be loaded onto a train to go to a death camp when a captain of the German army recognized her, took her out of line, got her to the United States. She later died in Israel at 105 years of age. God rest Miriam Janowski.
Wow. That is amazing. I also I was a teenager on the North Shore of Chicago, and the Nazis marched in Skokie, Illinois.
Yes.
And the Nazis, I think his name was Frank Collins or something, the head of the Nazis.
Yes.
Is that right? And
yes.
And I actually tried to organize a bunch of teenagers to go down and throw rocks at him and stuff, and nobody was interested. I couldn't get. I think I was 16 years old when that was happening. And the Nazis, and Skokie had the highest concentration anywhere in America of Holocaust survivors, which is why the Nazi Party of Chicago targeted Skokie, Illinois for that march. And I remember it well. And, again, my father died when I was a baby, but my mother kept everything fresh, and my uncles were World War II guys, and everywhere around us there were World War II guys. And Nazi, the very word Nazi is just, and that's why the left uses it, of course, and they don't call the Nazi Party the Socialist Workers' Party of Germany. You've noticed that.
Exactly. Yeah, because they don't understand anything about it. It's a name to them. It's like saying cheeseburger. It has no meaning to them in reality. If they understood the violence, not only Let's talk about Stalin. Let's talk about Mao Zedong. Let's talk about the slaughter of 100 million people in the last century at the hands of people who promised good things to the workers and gave them nothing. Well, death.
Yeah, well, death, yeah, and end to life and all of that. Yeah, and I'll tell you, the now chief law enforcement officer of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Jay Jones, right? Jay Jones. He said if he had 2 bullets and he was in a room with Adolf Hitler and Socialist Workers' Party, Pol Pot, the Socialist Communist Party of Cambodia, murdered millions, and the Republican Speaker of the State House in Virginia, and he had a gun with 2 bullets. He'd use both bullets on the Republican and killed the Republican, and he said he wanted to kill his children. And this guy was then, after that, was elected to be the Attorney General of the state of Virginia by Democrats who said, murdering Republicans and letting Hitler and Pol Pot live. So the Socialist Workers' Party and the Communist Party, murderers of millions of people, they will be allowed to live. Jay Jones and Gerald Jones, misspelled Gerald Jones. And he's taken up residence in the old seat of the Confederacy in Richmond, Virginia. I got to tell you, Al, it's true. History is lost on these people. Language is lost on these people. And truth is certainly lost on these people. Your Democrat Party, did you see Hakeem Jeffries? I guess, Michael, we have 2 Hakeem Jeffries sound bites. Is that right? 2 Hakeem Jeffries sound bites? And let's go to the I'd like to use the first one of Hakeem Jeffries. Who does he want to murder, Michael? Kristi Noem? Kristi Noem, Secretary Kristi Noem. Here is the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives, and Kristi Noem is in their crosshairs. And you know how many snipers, suicide attackers they have, and self-immolating suicide lunatics, the Democrat Party. Honestly, they're much worse than ISIS or Al-Qaeda in the United States, and they have been for the last 5 years. If you don't count September 11th, which they like to do, they like to not count September 11th, the Democrat Party in the last 5 years, suicide attacks, assassinations, murders, all of the mayhem. But let me hear what Hakeem Jeffries has to say, and what did he mean when he said what he said. I've got that coming up. Kristi Noem and Democrats, their propensity for violence. The Democrat leader in the House of Representatives is a radical anti-Semite named Hakeem Jeffries, an Islamist. He was mentored by his uncle, Professor Leonard Jeffries, a radical left-wing extremist and virulent, very well-known anti-Semite. And Hakeem Jeffries is the number 1 Democrat in the House of Representatives. If they steal the elections, he'll become the Speaker of the House, and he's a vile and repugnant person and a violent person. And the Democrats, they're threatening to shut the government down today. Here's Hakeem, the guy, just the look on his face, the look in his eyes. If you saw him out in the woods, you'd know that everybody was in danger with the look on his face. He's a menace to civilization. Here is Hakeem Jeffries shutting the government down. It's all the Republicans' fault.
We want to avoid a government shutdown, but it's necessary to ensure that the Department of Homeland Security dramatically changes the way in which it has been conducting itself. Taxpayer dollars should not be used to brutalize or kill American citizens or to violently target law-abiding immigrant families.
Law-abiding immigrant families. What law-abiding immigrant families? We got 2 white Anglo-European American Democrats who had been shot and killed. One of them was in his second brawl in 11 days with federal law enforcement while carrying a gun for the second time, an extra magazine. And that's the new hero, Alex Preddy, who, according to CNN, all your daughters want to date Alex Preddy. He's the perfect man. the perfect guy, and you want your daughter to date him. And Renee Good was out there being a lunatic and bouncing up and down in her car, listening to loud music. Then when ordered to get out of her vehicle, which she was using to block the road and block federal law enforcement, ordered to get out of the car, she instead put it in gear and punched it and crashed her car into a federal agent, and she was shot. And the loss of both of their lives, the tragic death of Alex Preddy, the tragic death of Renee Good, brought on in both cases entirely by themselves, 100% by themselves. But again, at CNN, if you're Luigi Mangione or Alex Preddy, then you want your daughter to date them because of their mental illnesses. And the Democrats want to shut down ICE completely. So it doesn't exist anymore. It was created after September 11th, 2001, when the jihadis attacked. The Democrats are now closer to al-Qaeda than they are to John F. Kennedy on the political spectrum. But here is the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, on shutting down the government. I did that, and I can't hear you. Oh yeah, we don't want to shut the government down. We just want to defund everything we want to defund. We want ICE to disappear, and we don't want to enforce immigration law, and we want open borders, and we want all the Venezuelan gangs to run free, and all that. Now here it is. Now I apologize. Here's the second. The second soundbite from the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, who is saying, apparently, that because he's upset about something, he thinks that DHS Secretary Kristi Noem apparently should be killed, should be assassinated, which the Democrats are doing a lot of.
Kristi Noem is a complete and total embarrassment. She's a disgrace. She's got to go. We
Sexist,
are dead serious.
Racist.
She needs to be put on ICE permanently.
She needs to be put on ICE permanently. Now, what does that mean? That's not quite as general as 69, 86, the whole thing. But never mind that. So I actually went and I looked at, put on ice, because to me, what does put on ice mean? You put somebody on ice. That means they're going to the morgue, that you've killed them. This person ought to be put on ice. That's so I looked it up at the idioms, the free dictionary and idioms. And to put someone on ice, number one definition, to postpone or delay interacting with someone. Yeah, postpone. Well, he's not looking at postponing her, delaying her. Number two, slang, to murder someone. That's right here in the idioms dictionary here. A reference to keeping a body in a freezer in order to keep it from decomposing. But first, to murder someone. So there's the Democrat leader in the House of Representatives, the minority leader. And let's hope he never becomes the Speaker of the House, because he's a savage and a third worlder and an anti-Semite, an anti-American, an anti-capitalist. And now, wait, are you going to put the Cabinet Secretary Kristi Noem on ice? And now imagine the Speaker of the House, Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, saying he was going to put a Ilhan Omar on ice. It's time that she were put on ice. That would be racist and sexist, and the Democrats would start firebombing Jews in synagogues and crashing their cars through the front door. But when Democrats with this criminal face that Hakeem Jeffries obviously has, I don't know if you're into phrenology and the lumps on the head and stuff, but he has a criminal brow, and he's got criminal written all over him. He's got, if you saw him in a crowded place, you'd say that guy's a criminal. Oh, that's the Democrat leader in the House. And wait a minute, he wants to put Kristi Noem on ice. Again, number two, slang, to murder someone. The Democrat Party, which would be funnier if they hadn't murdered Charlie Kirk and shot Donald Trump and shot Steve Scalise and murdered illegal aliens at the Dallas and murdered 5 police officers and wounded 9 more at a Black Lives Matter march and on and on. And so we've got that going for us. That's the Democrat Party. That is the leader of the Democrat Party in the House of Representatives. Yes, sir. And what do we get from the Democrats and from the left? Well, here's a headline I found today when I was searching around. When it comes to killing protesters, Trump sounds like Iran. Now, Iran has murdered thousands and thousands of Iranians fighting for freedom. And the Democrats, what are they fighting for? Illegal aliens who are child rapists and murderers and wife beaters. And those are the heroes of the Democrat Party. And if you go to arrest them, and again, they're in the country illegally, and illegal immigration is illegal. But the headline at the Bulwark, when it comes to killing protesters, Trump sounds like Iran. From Minnesota, from Minneapolis to Mashhad in Iran. Similar rhetoric justifying lethal government violence. I'm sorry, you guys are shooting and killing people all over the place, and you're not good neighbors. Not good neighbors. And you are the party of the first American Civil War. Let's hope you don't drag us into the second American Civil War. But these are the headlines you get when you're a Democrat. They put out these kinds of things. Aren't they amazing? And again, the list on and on and on. And they got these, you see this woman, Ariana Grande. She used to be an attractive woman. Continues political stance against ICE with big endorsement. Ariana Grande continues to wear her activist hat. Is that what that is? To literally step on ice. She's not literally stepping on ice. They use the words, but they don't know what they mean. That's the story from Blast on Yahoo News. The musician has once again proven that she means serious business and will not stay silent in the face of conditions that endanger and threaten the lives of Americans. Illegal aliens are raping and murdering women all over the place. And the honestly, let's you guys, did you come out, Ariana Grande, when Laken Riley was murdered by an illegal alien that was trying to rape her when he murdered her by bashing her skull in with a rock, the nursing student in Georgia? How about the mother of 5 in Maryland that went out for a walk and was raped and murdered by an illegal alien while walking a path in a nice part of Maryland? Did Ariana Grande come out and say that she was really upset about that? And we have an Ariana Grande bit of audio, because these people are as ignorant as they are ignorant. Listen to her. Oh, I'm sorry. Ariana Grande posted a video. So the Ariana Grande posted an Instagram story to quickly share and post, relying on people to participate in, listen to this, the ICE out nationwide shutdown. It's a nationwide shutdown. No work, no school, no shopping. And, the school, we just had a great caller on the line, Al, from Chicago, from Oak Lawn. And the schools closed down there because somebody phoned in a scary bomb threat or some kind of a threat. They won't even say what kind of a threat it was. So they shut down the schools. Coincidentally, on the same day that the Democrats are pushing a nationwide shutdown, no work, no school, no shopping, saying all the restaurants should close down across America because of all the illegal aliens that they've got working in the back, like Tony Montana, who are just looking forward to becoming cartel kingpins. And in the nationwide shutdown, no work, no school, no shopping, January 30th, that's today. If your neighborhood restaurant or store is shut down, then they're pro-illegal alien. They might be illegal aliens. The original post encouraged interested participants to sign up for the march online. It's not a march if it's online. To lend their voices, they use the words, but they don't know what they mean, against the treatment of immigrants, you mean illegal alien gang members, in recent times by the Trump administration, taking to X, Ariana Grande fans and members of the public showered her with, I'll leave that alone, with praises for constantly promoting and leading the voices against these inhumane policies. And I got to tell you, again, I just read off a list of the people that were arrested on Wednesday alone, the child rapists, the murderers, the wife beaters, just amazing stuff. Second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon. And the Democrats are out there fighting for them, and Ariana Grande is fighting for them, and these drunk Indians crashing into people all over the place, and wife beaters, and just amazing stuff. The Democrat Party. What's the matter with them, Michael? I just don't know. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Michael calling from Woodbridge, Virginia. Michael, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Yeah, Chris, I'm glad I was able to fulfill Rush's obligation to make the host look good by bringing this to your attention. I really wanted to make sure you guys were able to touch on this. I think we are undervaluing what this is. Imagine if 4 or 5 years ago I had called for Nancy Pelosi to be put on ice while I was standing near the Capitol building.
Right.
Imagine the outrage. Imagine what would have happened to my life, how my life would have gotten turned upside down.
Right.
It is misogynistic at minimum. If you go and you actually look, and it's wonderful, the Internet, thank God for Al Gore inventing the Internet, because I was able to find, 50 different dictionary definitions of put on ice. Not one of them does not imply violence when talking about a human being. There are multiple applications that talk about plans, actions, and all kinds of other things. But anything referring to a human being is clearly violent. And how do I know it? Because Hakeem Jeffries says permanently. He clearly is not saying, well, we'll get back around to her later. He's saying she's got to go. She's got to be put on ice permanently. There is no way to misinterpret this. And, oh, by the way, Ariana Grande, I call on Republicans across the country to push for SAG and AFTRA to allow their unions to accept illegal aliens in the union. Therefore, they can take Ariana Grande's job like they have taken so many millions of jobs from other Americans who are not in sheltered classes because the union will not allow illegal aliens.
That is outstanding. That was just great.
Republican, if you don't fight back now, you will be done. You will be the bodies in the mass graves. Make up your damn mind what you want to do.
I got to tell you, it was great, and I loved your open to your setup, that the Rush Limbaugh tradition of making the host look good. That was beautiful. I've been sitting here nodding enthusiastically in agreement with a kind of a smirk on my face. Absolutely great, and you're 100% right when you're talking about if it's a plan for the new kitchen and you're going to put it on ice, then that means it's delayed. If you're talking about a person being put on ice permanently, you're absolutely right. Semantically, grammatically, culturally, you're talking about killing somebody.
If I can get one more thing in, you and I have talked about this before, and I'm really getting tired of Republicans underestimating their enemy and undervaluing their enemy, treating their enemy like they're stupid. Stop pretending your enemy is stupid, because it makes you look bad when you lose to the stupid. Yeah. James Walkinshaw, the new guy that replaced Jerry Connolly, is literally out there doing a sales pitch yesterday how he's protecting the federal family. This is the same James Walkinshaw that despises ICE, who are federal employees, members of the federal family, who are union members in law enforcement, that on January 6th, James Walkinshaw told me were angels.
Yeah.
Stop pretending they don't know.
Yeah, yep. Well, it's hard to dispute anything, not that I'm looking to dispute, but you're 100% right as to everything that you've said, Michael.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for the call and for making the host look good. I like that in the Rush Limbaugh tradition. Just wonderful stuff. Speaking of which, a new Federal Reserve chair was named by the president today, a guy named Kevin Warsh. Warsh. You know, like you put clothes in the Warsh. W-A-R-S-H. I'm kidding. You don't put clothes in the Warsh. But that's his name, Warsh, like you want to have your Warsh your car. But looks like a good guy. President Trump's pick, and Jerome Powell will be out, and Kevin Warsh will be in, President Trump's pick. And he looks like a good, solid guy, and he's, I think, what is he, the youngest chair of the Federal Reserve ever? Kind of a big deal. Great call, Michael. Thank you very much. It is Friday. How much time do we have left? Not enough time. We'll squeeze in as much crazy Democrat as we can with the time that we have.
We are dead serious. She needs to be put on ice permanently.
Well, the Democrat mayor of Seattle, she's actually a socialist. Socialist mayor of Seattle. She has instructed the police there to monitor Immigration and Customs Enforcement and their activity and videotape everything immigration is doing with body cams and dash cams because she's trying to ensnare her left-wing radical Katie Wilson, a socialist, announced several actions on Thursday, and among them she wants the police to monitor ICE because she's an open borders communist who wants to destroy the United States of America as we know it because she's a Democrat, She also had some ethics problem accepting a $10,000 gift. I think it might have been from her parents, though, which is kind of weird. But she's telling the police, the Seattle police, to document immigration activity. Not the illegal aliens, but the law enforcement, because they're all a bunch of commies. You know how they are, these people. Completely berserkly. They are dangerous. Yes, they are. And we had a number of stories I think we're having a little bit of trouble getting to. I love the number 11, Michael, the Minneapolis restaurant owner who is allegedly Jamaican named Tommy Beavis. And he's like, hey, we learned everything here because of George Floyd, in Minneapolis, who was a career criminal passing counterfeit bills, resisting arrest on fentanyl and methamphetamine. And this Jamaican loved him.
In 2020, after George Floyd was lynched, we were targeted.
Lynched.
But nonetheless, the community stepped up, and 150 volunteers walked around our block 24/7, non-stop, keeping us safe. And so to answer your question, I'm not scared because, one, I'm protected by God, but I'm not scared because our community shows up and supports us every single day.
Yeah, and it's at front lines every single day, and he's not afraid. He was lynched. George Floyd was lynched. That's the language that he is. This is the Democrats, just amazing. Amazing Democrat people. They're truly something. I've run up the clock on myself again because the Democrats have given me way too much stuff. Democrats looking at shutting the government down today because they want to defund ICE because they're the open borders, pro-gang, pro-crime party. They're the Democrat Party, and they're not on our side. They want to shut the government down, and they're walking out all across the country today. It might be nicer out there today if all the Democrats don't show up to anything to work, and then you can identify the businesses that have shut down today as radical businesses that you'll never want to patronize again. But ICE should probably raid those places.